Oh, I see you found something you like. That one is quite expensive, very rare. One-of-a-kind experience just for you. Handcrafted ingredients made from the rarest frog's eyes and bee's wings, smoked over an open flame of the rarest incense from the highest mountain, garnished with dried kelp from the lowest trench of the oldest ocean, served on a platter made from a tortoise shell from the oldest tortoise to have ever lived. Man, I just wanted a drink. Hey, it's Tim here, your average dungeon master and your average bar master. Today, I'm making the do-it-yourselfer. Look, I'm all for supporting your local economy. Trust me, I love going to a local restaurant or a local shop and finding something unique, having a one-of-a-kind experience. I love it. But the price of cocktails has gotten out of hand. It's outrageous to pay $18, $20, $25 for a cocktail. Just because it has some weird ingredient that you can't pronounce doesn't make it worth that much money. If you want something served under soft light with smoke blown on top of it and glitter shot in your face, I can do that for you for $5. I can also show you how to make cocktails at home for a fraction of the price that are probably better. In a lot of my videos, I show you how to make the simple syrups and liqueurs that I use to make my drinks. Today I'm using a honey simple syrup, lemon juice, and an apple liqueur that I made at home. So for this drink, I'm gonna sweeten it with a honey simple syrup. This is actually a 1-to-1 honey to water syrup. That's called a simple syrup. It's simple because it's 1 part sweetener and 1 part water. The water just makes it so that you can pour the sugar. In this case, it's honey. You can't pour granulated sugar. It doesn't shake very well and mix in. You can't pour honey because it's too thick. Maple syrup, other things like that, they don't integrate unless you thin them out with water. At a 1-to-1 ratio, it's called simple syrup. At a 1-to-2 ratio, that being 1 part water, 2 parts of the sweetener, it's called a rich simple syrup. And then there's variations in between. And my ratio for a sour cocktail, which is what this is 2 parts strong, 1 part sweet, 1 part sour. So my 1 part sweet is mixed between my honey simple and my apple liqueur. 3/4 of an ounce of this honey simple syrup. And then my apple liqueur, I've shown you how to make it in a different video, but essentially you take vodka and you put in your flavorant and you let it sit for 24 hours or so, depending on what it is. This one was apple peels, actually mostly, to get the good flavors and oils out of the peels. Then you add sugar to sweeten it to make it a liqueur. The ratios, you can find them online, real easy for the ingredient you're using. And then just experiment with it and see how sweet it is, how much you like it. You can add more sugar. Then add that to your vodka after you've let it sit with the ingredient and strained it out. And you've got your liqueur. This is gonna last a long time. And it should be shelf stable depending on how much sugar you use. And it's mostly vodka, so it'll last for a long time. I'm gonna use 3/4 ounce of this as well. And then my lemon juice, another ingredient that I make at home and for relatively cheap. I use Kevin Cause's super juice recipe. To summarize, you take the peels of the fruit you're using, lemon or lime, or you can do it with any citrus really, and you pour over citric and malic acid, depending on which citrus you're using, and you let that sit for a while to get the oils to come out of the peels. And then you add water and you blend it and you strain it. And then you have super juice. I get this 24-ounce jar out of 4 lemons. I bought a bag of citric acid and malic acid like 3 years ago. I still have it. It was like $4 at a health food store. And every time I need juice, which is not very frequently because I have 24 ounces of it on hand almost all the time, I buy 4 limes or lemons, and that's all I need. I used to juice it fresh every time, and I was constantly buying lemons and limes. Now I only buy them like every couple months, maybe. So I can make sours at home very cheaply, margaritas out the wazoo. An ounce of lemon juice, that's 1 part sour in my 2 part strong, 1 part sour, 1 part sweet. I know I've got 1.5 ounces of sweetener. That's just, I like that, and especially because this is strong as well. And these are flavorants, and I wanted a little more of the flavor of the honey and the apple. Okay, and then 2 parts of my strong. This is Evan Williams Bottled & Bond Bourbon, and I buy this big old jug of it from Costco, like $27. This is how I drink on a budget. A couple times a week at this. I don't spend that much money on cocktails. Shake over ice. Cheers. It's delicious. Do-it-yourselfer. It's an instant classic.